Hello everyone. I'm going to show you today how to do a story stick. The first thing to say is this is my stick that I'm going to use. It's about 30-35 centimetres long. You don't have to use one of that size. You can use a smaller one. You can use a much longer one. Okay, if you want to. It can be a stick that's lying around in your back garden. You might want to pop it up onto a radiator or somewhere warm overnight, just so it's not too wet or soggy, because the drier these are, the better they work. This one doesn't have any bark on it, but that's not essential. Okay, it doesn't have to be like that. And if you haven't got a stick that you like the look of to use, and perhaps a piece of garden cane would work really nicely as well. Okay, some people I've seen make these. They make them really big. They look almost like a wizard's staff. And some people make little tiny ones that remind me in a way a bit of like little peg dolls or something. You can make them however you like. You'll notice that I haven't put up a finished picture of one. That's because no two of these are ever the same, okay? Because they really are just about people expressing themselves and how they're feeling. And just as no two people are ever the same, no two story sticks are ever the same. And the other thing to say is there's absolutely no way you can get this wrong. There's no one right way or no wrong way of doing these. It's totally about how you feel and what you want to say and what you want to show. Okay, this in a way is a bit like a blank piece of paper. Okay, so a little bit about the story sticks. I'm just going to make a little start on this one while I'm talking. Story sticks come from ancient cultures. So we're thinking the Aborigines of Australia or the indigenous tribes of North America. And there would be a tradition in those cultures that the story of the tribe would be carved, important events would be carved into sticks that would be passed around when perhaps discussions were going on or meetings within the tribe. And the idea was that whoever held the stick had the floor. They were the one who was speaking and no one was allowed to interrupt because they were holding in their hand the story of the tribe, and that was something to be treated with respect. So these are very much about expressing ourselves, but also about people respecting our right to express ourselves as we see fit. So basically, what are we doing? We are taking a stick and we are decorating it in any way that we feel. The only thing that matters is that what you are choosing to put on is something that has some meaning to you. Now, you don't have to overthink it. If you want to, you can keep it really simple. I'll explain the story behind mine in a minute. But for example, if you wanted to, you could say, my favourite colour is pink. Therefore, I'm going to put lots and lots and lots of pink things on my story stick, if that's what you like. Or you could say, my favourite football club is Liverpool, and I'm going to cover the entire thing with lots of red and white. I think that's Liverpool's colours. Apologies, Liverpool, if it isn't. Lots of red and white. And then I'm going to draw lots of little footballs and attach those to it. You can have these however you want them. Really, you can pick and choose whatever you like. Now you'll notice that I've got all sorts of bits and bobs really round me, and what I've done is I've had a rummage in dressing up box and the wrapping paper box that I've got for that I keep bits and bobs of things for wrapping presents with, and all sorts of bits and bobs will do. Now, if by some reason you've had a massive clear out, you haven't got any scraps of cloth or bits of paper or cotton wool that you can use, you can always get some plain paper and draw things and cut those out to add on. I've seen some people do really lovely things with that. You can even cut up magazines. You can literally use anything at all that you want to. Okay, so what's going on with my story stick? My story stick is going to be about two things today. My story stick is something that's really on my mind at the moment because I have just been out for a really nice walk in a bit of early or late winter, early spring sunshine. And I have been doing what I think a lot of people do at this time of the year, looking out for signs of spring, like crocuses or snowdrops, and watching the birds, hunting for food, and anything that makes me think that winter might soon be over, because winter, beautiful as it is, can be a bit sad sometimes, and won't it be lovely when we have got some nice spring? So my story today is about winter turning into spring. So if you notice, I was starting off with lots of cotton wool. Now, I've tied the cotton wool round with this nice piece of bobbly ribbon. Just going to wrap it up a bit more and put it back under the camera. So why this? Well, I'm sure you've worked it out. Nice fluffy cotton wool for snow, okay? And the bobbly ribbon, I just happen to have a bit of leftover from tying presents up with. That's for snowballs, okay? And then I am going to just tie this off here. I'm going to cut that off. I'm sure I can find a use for that later at some point. So I'm just going to cut that off. Okay. So what I've gone with here is my nice pale icy blue winter sky, a nice thick snow, and some nice knobbly snowballs. Now you could add a snowman if you wanted to. You could get a nice fat bit of cotton wool and you could make a snowman's face and then stick that to. Okay, I'm just thinking about snowy wintry colours really with this. So I've got my base. I think I might add this icy blue. I think that's quite a nice wintry cold colour. And I've wrapped some stuff round. I think I might just keep my winter theme going. I might just tie a bow actually with that. You can wrap, you can tie, you can add bows, you can do anything that you think looks nice. I'm going to tie a pretty bow. Just try and even that up a bit. Okay, but they don't have to be pretty. They can be I saw one person once do a really lovely one of wild animals, and he topped the thing off with a cardboard stag's head, and it looked amazing. It looked really good. Some people do them. They look like something that you'd wave at a football match. They can look really fun. Oh, I found some sequins. They're sparkly and icy, aren't they? I think I might just tuck those in actually to there. Some of what you do with this is pure trial and error. Okay, I'm going to keep the video quite short because I don't want you to just be sitting there all day watching me fiddle about. But what I would love for you to do is when you have made some of these is to put some photographs up on the website so I could have a look. I would really like to see them because they do. Everybody always feels a bit with these, oh, what is it we're meant to do? Once you get going and you get all your bits and bobs assembled and you just start having a go, it very quickly falls into place. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure, my advice would be have a mooch about, find some bits and bobs that you like the look of and just have a go, okay? Now I'm thinking that when I finished this, you see I've got this end here, I'm thinking that this to me says winter because that is a pom-pom off a woolly hat, okay? I'm thinking that when I finished that will look jolly good on the end of there, okay? And that will be the winter end of my stick, okay? So as I said, what I'm thinking is, won't it be nice when winter has turned into spring? So let's have a look at the springy end now. What shall we have? Oh, I don't know about anybody else, but I can't wait for there to be a few flowers. So I'm going to go in. I managed to find some flowery wrapping paper. So I think I'm going to go in with a bit of that. Okay, now you don't have to do the same theme that I'm doing. If you love Christmas and you have got some Christmas wrapping paper and you want to make a Christmassy coloured stick, you could do that. If you love a certain sports team, you could base it all around the colours of that sports team. Okay, I might actually need a bit of glue on there, you know. Okay, if you enjoy baking, you could draw pictures of cakes and you could cut them out and you could stick those onto your stick. There is literally nothing that you can't add to these. Okay, they are a complete blank canvas, and you can use sellotape, you can use glue, you can use tying bits of string on to hold things in place. You can do it however you want. Right, so I've got my winter stick now starting to turn into my spring stick. Ah, that's what I think would be nice. I was rummaging it about in the bottom of the sewing box and I found those. Now these might need a big old blob of PVA, but for now I'm going to try one with some Pritt stick and hope that it will hold. In actual fact, I can see another one there. So I'm going to add that. That's a nice pretty little flower. Makes you think of spring. Okay. And then I notice over here that I have got this. So I think I'm going to be cutting. Oh, let's have a leaf as well. I'm going to be cutting that up. Okay. And I am going to be, oh, I think actually I'm going to go completely crazy. I was just going to put one, but you know what? I'm getting into this now. So I think I'm actually going to tie this round and have it stretching round the whole thing. And I can always tidy up the sticky out bits at the end. Yeah, let's have a big bunch of yellow sunflowers on there now. Oh, now I'm starting to feel the spring coming. That's better. That's lovely. So now I've got my sunflowers. I've got my little pink flowers. What else says spring? I have got a daisy. Always love to see the daisies popping up in the lawn. Really, really, really winds up other people in my family because they like to see the lawn looking neat, but I like to see the daisies, so I'm going to add a daisy on there. Sorry, I'll move that down so you get a better view. Okay, so I'm adding my daisy on there. So my stick now is going from my snowy icy blue all the way up to my flowers, my things coming back to life, my summer sunflowers, my pretty spring pink blossom here, my daisies coming up through the lawn, and then I think we will have my little squished chick. I think he's going to go on next to something. I think he's going to go on. Might have to glue him. Hopefully he'll stick. There you go, Mr. Chick. Let's put that on your little feet. I'll have you on there as well. Okay. Are you going to hold? I hope you are. Right, so you're starting to look really pretty now. Now there's lots of other bits and bobs and lots of other things that I can add if I want to. Okay, it's a little bit of trial and error, but for example, if I wanted to, I could add some pom-poms for snowballs onto this. That would be quite pretty. I found some sequins. Okay, I could add those on. Some nice glittery stars. They would look beautiful up at this wintry cold colour end. I could add some more flowers. I could add ribbons. I can add things like this if they help me tell the story that I want to. Okay, so there is literally nothing that you can't use. You can have glitter, glitter glue. You can draw pictures and you can cut them up and add them on. You should end up with something that you've decorated and that you could talk about. That's the idea, is that you could say to people, I've put this on here because this makes me think of winter, this makes me think of Christmas, this makes me think of my pets, this makes me think of the things that I love. You can do them based around holidays that you've been on if you want to. You can do them based on people that you care about. You can use this blank canvas of this stick to tell any story that you want. Okay, I'm really excited to see what you come up with. I'd be really, really, really intrigued. And don't worry if you're thinking, oh, I don't quite get this. The simplest way to start is to think of something that you like, okay? And then what can you see around you that reminds you of the thing that you like? What can you see? I've even seen somebody, and it looked really cool. They saved up their chocolate bar wrappers and they tied those round, and they look really nice. It turned some bits of old rubbish, really, into something really beautiful. Okay, so use your imagination. Don't be afraid to have a go, and send me some pictures, and I would love to see them. Okay, bye bye.